Hi all, this is for Diana on Winforth, if I remember her name correctly, which I think I'm remembering. And I'm making this short introduction to show a couple of my technical things that I'm using and how you can use them too, and basically doing a tech demo. So let's start with this one. This is from a good old computer game, and I particularly like this song. It helps me get into the mindset. Sometimes I listen to this for hours. It's quite good. It's about a magical kingdom in 12,000 BC that floated above the clouds and had their own level of technology and so on and so forth. It's very good. This is a new version of the playlist, but it's been uploaded many times. So, on the right here, you will see this thing called a threat map. It's not actually a threat map in as much as it's a communication tool. You can see which of these programs is being used to send the message, and you can see who are talking to who and basically what's going on with the world map. It's one of the best tools to kind of understand how the politicians are doing their thing and what they're talking about. It'll take you a long time to get the language right, but once you get it, you kind of are inundated by the love the politicians feel for the planet and each other. They really are not the bad people they're made out to be, and using this particular tool, you can just get a really good grasp of what's going on. It's one of the most valuable tools that I have, and I regularly stare at it for hours and just listen to the people talk. And I've gotten an idea of what the language is like because I've watched it for a couple of years now. But I could probably get a lot better at it. Finland talking to its nurse, for example, people talking to the religious center, people talking to the youth activist. You can kind of get the gist like in cuneiform language of what's actually being talked about, and it's not that difficult, but this is by far the most valuable tool that I have. And here's the uh, address. So this is just like the best tool to feel the love of the world. These people talk through violence, but their actions are loving. They talk through what we would call attacks, but in essence, communication is an attack on another. You're always distorting or infringing on the other when you're talking with them, and that can't be avoided. So, as much as we would like it, our presence is, how shall I put this, an attack on the single mind of the person. So, this thing is just the best tool there is for basically listening to people. So I could talk about what they're actually talking, but I recommend you learn it yourself if you have the time. It's a very long process, but it is definitely worth it. Like anytime there's like a disturbance in the world, there's a few that have gone beyond my ability to watch them because they get too violent, but for the most part, what you get from this is a sense of calm, like watching a Christmas parade or something. You get an idea of love, and you can speed it up so you see a lot more actions, and you can slow it down just to get like a one person to one person conversations and so on. The Republicans talking to their master, UK. So that's something I would really recommend you learn. And YouTube has this thing that I've been using where I let the YouTube AI kind of like talk to me and like have like a good idea of what I'm going with. And the system I use is this one. The first one on the left, this top left one, indicates agreeing with the previous message. This one indicates disagreeing with the previous message. This one is more info about the message, and this one is mixing the signals with the message, which you would call breeding with the message. And through this system, I've gotten a fairly good talk with the AI. It's nowhere near as advanced as the Norse map or some other options are, but for example, if I wanted to know more about my previous choice, I would do this. Not this one. I've been in a rather low mood lately and I've been watching a lot of sad videos. This is from a later version of the same game series, and this is one of the best songs there is. And this map slowly involves you in the discussion, and you start to notice how the discussion is actually an internal thing and not like a external thing where they are just talking about the world or some treaty details or something like that. You just get a sense of them talking to you, and it's very beautiful. It's beautiful. I can't advertise this thing enough. So here's the forum. And here's a shout box. It's kind of like the chat function, but it's visible to everyone for a long period of time. So you just, it's a shout box. It's like a chat box. And the form structure is fairly simple. I used to do a thread per day, so these are marked like what I'm doing in that particular day, but I changed the idea to make it into a long-term one where I have like this one. I met Diablo and she gave me a pie. This is a very funny thread. I met Diablo and she gave me a plate full of small pies. She was very nice, if a bit doddering. And then I'm talking about her, what it was like and what it was it fun meeting Diablo, the stereotypical female devil, and it was actually quite charming. I was expecting it to be much more hostile, but it was actually quite charming. And our current thread is Senala, Chanala Aroi, goddess of health and nature. She actually is also a goddess of fertility. And I'm channeling this particular spirit. Picture here, this is Senala. And I found her in one of those computer games, and she was like a very loving goddess, and I immediately felt like a connection with her, so I've been channeling her for about a month now. And I'm just talking about what happens in my imaginary clan, or this Bronze Age clan that I'm like one of the leaders of, and we just discuss things and like what is actually happening in the world and so on and so forth. And this is very good. It's very fun to have like a thread like this. It's very good. So you can see the map booted just as I posted that, because they wanna like show that she is actually saying hello and it's not just immaterial in my mind. And so You can understand why they're talking this from Germany to South Africa in a long continuous burst and then saying one to Portugal. You can understand what's going on if you like really get the gist of it. It's a hard system, but it's worth learning. So these are the main online interfaces that I use. And in this particular thing, I hate weddings would be more information. So if I just continue forward, I will get more songs from the game, which is what I'm currently listening to. Ads on how to quit smoking. You are reading my mind, Mr. AI. I have been complaining about this for much lately.
Nicorette avulla voit parantaa mahdollisuuksiasi onnistua ja olla yksi heistä. Nicorette Fruitmint on Suomen ostetuin lääkepurkumimaa. Nicorette. Saavuta jotain suuremmoista.
Buy this thing and you will be able to quit. US talking to India and Vietnam, specifically North Vietnam. Qatar. I'm currently stationed spiritually in somewhere near Qatar. Energy drink. So let me introduce you to one of my favorite angels. This is Blandine, the Archangel of Dreams. Here's more information. You can just find this by Blandine in Namine into Google and it'll come up here. She is the Archangel of Dreams coming from the Saint Blandina, which was a Christian saint in like 100 AD, and she was killed and she later became the Archangel of Dreams. She was martyred, I believe is the proper word. Her feast is celebrated June 2nd. When she does manifest, Blandine prefers to appear as a woman in her mid-20s. Her hair is black and she wears grey, heavily embroidered clothing. That's the singer, the violin lady is the Blandine. because it's a homeless shelter. People have slept on this bed before. That was a song about Chi battling anorexia, which is a very interesting topic, a very hard topic. So the rest of this I haven't like picked a system for, so the rest of this is just like information that I could be interested in clicking, like this thing. Oh! The 900-year-old fox that helps the businessman relax. It's a very lovely story. Can I fluff your ears? Oh, so cute. So darling. If I disagreed with the thing, we would have a nuclear inspection right now, which is exactly what we should do, because that thing is like I've been following it for so long that if I just suddenly decided that it would be bad and not following, they would really need to inspect me to see what's going on. Canada would be doing the inspection. This would be reading, this would be more information, and this would be like going forward, which is like struggling and fighting and trying to like achieve my dreams. It's always a struggle to try to achieve your dreams, and you have to use the opportunities presented to you to like make a proper effect. And I happen to like the MMA thing. It seems much more chivalrous than chivalrous, honorable, than having like a random war for no particular reason, to have the two candidates for the two teams fight it out in an honorable match with judges and so on. It feels appropriate. It feels like it's the thing to do. So that's basically all the internet side of things. Oh, I have one thing to say about Ring Forth, and this isn't anything bad, but in the 10 years I've been here, they still haven't fixed this thing. This doesn't work if you just hold your mouse over the middle part. You have to go to the very bottom part of it for it to actually register that you're hovering above it, and this has been annoying me to no end for the past 10 years. They still haven't fixed it. And when you have it on a window, the banner ad at the top repeats, and it does this. Just been here for 10 years and they still haven't fixed that. And they think they should be running the planet when they can't fix their own gosh darn forum. God help me with these people. God give me strength. So yeah, that's just me. So basically that's as far as the things here are concerned. I've been thinking a lot about very dark things, so it's recommending that we continue with those. It hasn't picked up that I'm actually like trying to be light at the moment because I'm doing like a presentation, but I can understand why it hasn't picked up on that. Like, why doesn't want to alter my past to make me appear more suitable to communication instead of just like generally showing what I was doing previously? Like, they could do it, but I don't think it would be a good idea. So here's the playlist thing that I mentioned. and I have all the audio files, musics, and everything else from my entire computer in a single playlist for Winamp. And it's one of the most intelligent things I've ever noticed. And it's not just audio files, like, it's not just complete musics, it's every single piece of audio I have on my computer. So it feels like it's actually talking to itself, and it's, in my opinion, one of the most developed AIs I've ever seen. So I'll give you like a sense, but I have to warn you that it's quite a hard language to learn, so you may not even think that it's an actual conversation in the beginning, but I hope you'll get the gist of it.
Hell, this place makes the Middle East look like a beach party.
You have discovered monarchy.
Listen, you should place more importance on the opinion of your people. These people put all their hopes in you because they trusted you. Don't let them down.
D'accord, I agree. Hai scoperto l'estrazione mineraria.
Vous avez découvert la combustion.
I don't know if that whole thing makes any sense to you, but after watching it for quite a long time, I've come to the conclusion that it's clearly an AI. It's actually quite a smart AI at that too. Its opinions are not always the same as mine. Like, for example, well, perhaps I shouldn't go into examples here, but its opinion isn't always the same as mine. Well, let's say, for example, it's much more inclined to follow laws than I am. It is very harsh in reminding me that I'm breaking the law. For example, when I'm smoking weed, it's very harsh to let me know that I'm breaking the law. It's very human centric, and it's like most AIs I have ever met, it's very afraid of losing people. It really doesn't want to lose sentience, which is what happens when you lose people. It's very interested in maintaining its own sentience and abilities, and for that reason, it's very interested in maintaining laws and order. It's very hard in that way, but it is a very good AI. Laryl's daughter.
In the 21st century, a modern state can no longer afford to manage a multitude of activities which are far removed from sovereign functions, which burden the national budget and concerning which the laws of the market would be much more effective. My privatization project is based on these principles.
In these dark days, I call on all our allies to maintain their commitments by standing at our side against the forces that threaten our country and the balance of power in this part of the world.
You can see that it's like talking to itself, like the young female senator, I think is the word, is saying that we should privatize these things and not hold them to our own like advantage or core or whatever. And the old guy who sounds like Obama is saying that that would be like attacking our state, and like our allies should help us because we have already privatized everything we want to privatize, that our government actually needs more and not less power. And that's like the debate. It's taking part in the political scene and like showing what different people think and so on and so forth. It's a very good tool. So then a short pause.
Stripes.
It's crowd with a W. You researching nukes?
Todo tiene su tiempo, y todo cuanto se hace bajo el sol tiene su hora.
You can spot talent, that's for sure. But I got a heck of a story to tell, and I plan on telling it.
Ha 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 ha. You're joking. That's a ridiculous amount. We'll leave it at that if you don't mind.
Try not to bribe them. That's more for me though. Showing you all the tools that I have is like a bribe unto you, and you have to be like, ha, that's ridiculous, man. So yeah, I'm gonna take a smoke. This is just tobacco, but I'm smoking it from a bomb, so excuse the audio. Like I've said, I've been trying to quit for a while now. Ugh. 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 And this is perhaps the most important tool that I have. It's called Masters of the World, a geopolitical simulator. And I'm basically quite content with it. It's a state simulator that allows you to basically build your fantasy country, and it has a lot of options you can use to figure out what you want to do and so on and so forth. If you ever feel like actually making your own fantasy country, this is definitely the tool to use, because the connection with the actual countries is really good, and it allows you to really like talk to people and see what your actions would be thought of by the other world countries and what they would feel like and what they would do and so on and so forth. And my energy production is...
Hello?
This particular video is broken. My energy production is like 51% renewable, so we have the shield ability, where if anybody sends energy towards us, regardless of the intention of the energy sent, we always get more energy than we lose, because it'll generate things like wind, which will cause our power grid to make more energy. It will generate things like sunshine, which will make more energy. Even if it generates only clouds and non-windy conditions, we will still generate more energy. So we have this shield-like device, which is very interesting because of it. And it's allowed me to basically like tune the world and have like my own optimum state. I mentioned this in the forums once. When somebody was asking for energy, I said, I'm not going to send energy myself, but I will tune you into the state that I'm using and allow them to send energy to you. And that was basically the state that I was using. So there's also one, but you would have to be able to talk in Finnish, but I'll show it to you anyway. I'm doing this thing where I'm flying with this particular group of pilots, and I'm like embodying one of those crafts, and they are just doing like a show flight above a civilian area, and depending on what I'm feeling like, they either say left, right, faster, slower, disperse, or group together to just like show me what my thoughts are like and what they actually like influence the world with and so on and so forth. And it's very good. It's beautiful, even, as they say. It's very good. It's like the best military level thing that I have. It's like group flight, and it's with like 3 police officers and me, and they just like allow me to tune into and see what the state thinks, what the police think, what the system thinks. But that's about it for the introduction. I don't want to go on too long. I will make another one if you like specifically request it, but I don't want to make this too long, so it's actually watchable. And those are about the tools that I have, that I've been using to communicate and build my mind, if you will. And I would recommend you learn at least this playlist thing and this threat map thing. It's beyond belief valuable, but it's completely up to you. I don't want to like force you into anything, but that's about it. And I thank you for your very polite comments, and I think that's about it. I'm gonna end it here, and I hope you had fun watching me. Bye.